The floating village. One man, 1 year, one impossible dream. He leaves civilization behind. One man, 1 year, and one impossible goal. To build a fully self-sustaining village floating in the middle of a remote Vietnamese lake. No supplies, no power tools, no backup, just pure skill. And the determination to turn isolation into innovation. What he builds over the next 12 months will test not only his strength, but his imagination. This isn't just survival. This is design under pressure. In the rainy forests of Vietnam, survival begins with the bare essentials, and his most powerful resource is bamboo. Strong, light, flexible, and, most importantly, buoyant. But the first shore he reaches is too rocky and steep for any kind of construction. So he and his loyal dog travel along the lake until they find it, a flat, sandy bank, their new workshop. Here he begins the work. He splits bamboo into flexible strands for lashings, fiber rope strong enough to hold an entire house together. A floating home, he knows, is essential. When the rainy season comes, pythons and other creatures search for dry land. A land shelter would be a target. A floating one, a fortress. Slowly, a timber frame rises. He elevates the platform high above the water to stay dry and mold-free. Then comes the flooring. He slices bamboo down its length and unrolls it into perfectly flat sheets. A forgotten technique, a brilliant one. Piece by piece, the raft takes shape. His tools are simple, a knife, a saw, and a small hammer. But his craftsmanship is ancient. He uses traditional joinery, mortises and tenons, square holes and carved pegs that lock together with incredible strength. No nails, no screws, just wood, fitting perfectly with wood. The roof comes next. He lays a grid of thin bamboo laths and begins shaping hundreds of bamboo shingles. Moving them onto the raft would take hours, so he invents a bamboo lever crane, transforming heavy labor into smooth, controlled lifts. Overlapping shingles form a watertight skin, a simple, elegant solution to the monsoon ahead. Inside, a raised log floor provides a dry, warm place to sleep. His floating shelter is alive. With shelter built, survival shifts to food. The lake gives him clams, but not enough to thrive. He travels to a nearby waterfall to collect drinking water, trekking back with heavy containers. 3 weeks pass, and he decides to relocate the entire raft to richer shores. In the new spot, bamboo and timber are plentiful. He reinforces the raft, strengthens the shelter, and starts planting. Hollowed logs become planters. Dark, rich soil becomes a garden. Peppers, ferns, and even a banana tree begin taking root. The first signs of life growing on the water. The next step? A kitchen. He builds a covered cooking space, sealed tight to withstand heavy rain. A stone and soil base becomes the foundation for a clay stove, but larger fish demand better tools, so he crafts a spear gun, a simple, silent, deadly tool, and for clear underwater vision, a diving mask. His first shot is perfect, a clean hit, dinner secured. The raft is now too large to move easily. For gathering materials, he needs mobility, so he builds a pedal boat, human-powered, with a rudder and tiller for precision. It becomes essential for hauling huge loads of bamboo across the lake. With new materials, the raft expands again, but this time he leaves a large opening in the center. It's not a mistake. It's preparation. He's building a bamboo pool, lowered into the platform so the lake fills it naturally. Right now, a bath. Later, a fish farm. 2 months in, the rainy season hits, but his home stands firm. Now he turns to livestock. He builds a bamboo backpack and hikes deep into the forest, reading animal tracks. On a clean forest path, no cobwebs, no debris, he sets a trap. Hours pass. Then success. 2 chickens. They're not food. They're the start of a future flock. Back home, he builds a predator-proof coop and hunts for grubs to feed them. Piece by piece, the raft becomes a farm. The raft grows, and so does his ambition. He designs a heavy fish trap, one that allows fish to enter but not escape. He builds another crane to lift it from the water. A large catfish enters the trap. Instead of eating it, he releases it into the bamboo pool, his first long-term investment. Now he builds upward, a bamboo pergola that will support climbing plants and protect his raft from harsh sun. Then comes the biggest project yet, a floating rice field. He lines a frame with banana leaves, adds composted soil and charcoal, and plants rice. For the next several months, he'll care for these fragile shoots. If they survive, they'll feed him. If not, he starts over. Food is still difficult to catch, so he builds a portable fish trap for deeper waters. He explores new areas and collects crabs, a turtle, and a large fish. The crabs become a meal. The turtle and fish join the pond. But storms reveal the weakness of his first kitchen, so he tears it down and builds a stronger, larger cabin, complete with a sealed clay stove. 6 months in, the raft has transformed. A main shelter, a second cabin, a garden, a fish farm, chickens, a pedal boat, a growing food network. But something is missing. Pollinators. He heads into the forest to find a wild beehive. No smoke suit, no gloves. He fells the tree, opens the hive, and searches for the queen with bare hands. When he finds her, he places her into a modern bamboo hive he built earlier. The entire colony follows. Soon, his garden will burst with life. His rice field turns golden. It's time to harvest. He builds all the tools himself: a grain box, a drying mat, a rake, a mortar, a winnowing tray, then a foot-powered trip hammer to break the rice hulls. Grain by grain, he creates his first true meal of rice grown entirely on the water. The smell attracts new visitors, 2 wild kittens. Over days, he earns their trust and brings them aboard, adding new life to the raft. With a second garden planted and fish growing large in the pool, he harvests one for smoking. He constructs a tall smoker, seasons the fish with herbs from his garden, and cooks it slowly to perfection. Tonight's dinner is not just food, it's the culmination of months of patience, design, and resilience. 12 months ago, he arrived with nothing. Today, he stands on a floating world, a home, a farm, a village built by one man, not from conquering nature, but by becoming part of it. His floating village now lives, proof that self-sufficiency is not a fantasy, but a choice.